will affect some areas in Johannesburg. As it affects Johannesburg, it will also affect Durban. And I saw people dying in Durban. I saw people dying in Joburg as a result of this cold front. A very severe cold front which South Africa has never been exposed to. And I saw
cold, wet, miserable, and without a roof over their heads. A devastating fire swept through Jimsabos in Philippi last week, leaving about 600 people without shelter.
My house is inside is wet, it's raining. If you go out, you're gonna put it, you're gonna wear gumboots. If you don't have a gumboots, you're gonna put it stone because you want to go outside.
Residents say a local councillor promised to deliver building material.
I tried to struggle to get my place right here, to build a shack over. Now on the moment I'm giving out 3,500 rand for half of a shack. Ma, we must now wait for the zincs and other things till the people come and help us. At the moment I sleep at my daughter's place. It's a small shack. We're sleeping, all of us sleeping on the ground, on the mattress.
As not we didn't sleep, we ran inside in the bed. Also even the blanket is wet. You see, we can't carry shoes. We wait from inside the house. It's not a wait from outside. Inside is wet because it's leaking.
Authorities are urging residents to remain indoors or take necessary precautions when they are traveling.
The predictions from the South African Weather Services show that this latest bout of wet weather and very cold weather, which is set to move in from this week, is expected to continue until tonight. Another storm and cold front is expected to move in by Thursday morning. So this whole week, people can expect very cold, very wet weather. By Saturday, another third cold front is expected. So certainly, we're expecting to see a lot more rain.
Meanwhile, dams in Cape Town are just over 75% full, a far cry from 3 years ago when the city was faced with the reality of day zero.
Will affect some areas in Johannesburg. As it affects Johannesburg, it will also affect Durban.
Strong winds have hit the Western Cape, and it seems there's more to come. It's the first of 3 cold fronts. Regions of the Western Cape, and I'm joined now by meteorologist Mbavi Maliage. Good evening. Thank you so much for your time. So the Weather Service issued an upgraded storm warning, and it's going up to orange level 8. What exactly does that mean, and which region should be on high alert?
Hi, good evening, and thank you very much for having me. The areas that are of main concern, firstly, is obviously the city of Cape Town, which has been receiving quite a lot of rainfall over yesterday and also today, and continuing for the rest of the day. But the alert that you are specifically talking about, it's one for wind, where we have a low pressure system that is hitting the western parts of the country, and also resulting in quite a lot of strong winds in places, especially along the west coast. We are seeing wind speeds of up to 80 to 100 kilometers per hour. So those are pretty strong winds, and also into the interior as well. That's what we're seeing, quite strong winds of up to 80 kilometers per hour. So with regards to that level, to the alert of level 8, is mainly over the southern parts of the Northern Cape region, which is mainly the Namakwa district, and also including the West Coast district, the Central Karoo, Cape Winelands of the Western Cape, the Garden Route, and also parts of the Eastern Cape province. We're seeing quite strong winds for tomorrow, mainly for tomorrow. That's the level 8 alert.
All right. So does that mean that there's no threat of flooding? Is it mostly just going to be windstorms in the coming days, or can we expect a lot more rain as well?
We still have an alert out for flooding, this is mainly for the city of Cape Town, as I mentioned earlier. And the city of Cape Town, the level that we have issued out is a level 6. So that basically means that there's a high likelihood of significant damage resulting from flooding. And already there has been reports, especially for areas that are built in wetlands, there has been reports of quite a number of structural damage from the flooding. So we're still expecting that to continue into tomorrow, as there is another cold front coming tomorrow. So the Western Cape isn't really getting much of a break. Another cold front coming in tomorrow that will bring in more flooding. So the main concerns that we have, especially for the Western Cape, is flooding, which is also expected tomorrow, and also strong winds of up to 80 kilometers per hour in places over the interior, and sometimes gusting 100 to 120 kilometers per hour.
So the cold front coming in tomorrow, is that the second or the third one that's expected?
For tomorrow, this will be the third one, and then there is another one expected later on in the week. So I think Cape Town is only getting a break on Friday. That's when we're seeing Cape Town, or the Western Cape rather, getting a bit of a break from the series of cold fronts that have moved through this week.
All right, so you've explained sort of some wind and rain alerts actually all through the province in many different areas. Often the weather then moves up to different parts of the country. Can you explain whether any of us further up north here in Gauteng can expect colder weather or any other parts of the country?
For these specific systems, they seem to be mainly confined to the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape. However, as we go over into Thursday and Friday, there's a cooling, but it's not an intense cooling as we have experienced the previous cold front. So, for instance, today for here, us in Pretoria, our maximum temperature was actually 25. So by the end of the week, we're seeing temperatures cooling down for in Pretoria to around 22, 23 degrees, and Johannesburg probably cooling down to 20, 21 degrees. So yeah, that's what we're expecting for today. That's what we're expecting for towards the end of the week.
All right. Well, thank you so much for giving us that update. That was Mbavi Maliage from the South African Weather Service, just talking about those consecutive cold fronts hitting mostly different parts of the Western Cape, some parts of the Northern Cape. And, of course, we'll have a full weather bulletin at the top of the hour.
Cold, wet